Leetcode is forcing me to code more efficiently. And this is why I decided to go into doing Leetcode every day, even if it's just one problem, because over time, I just know that it's going to force me to become the best programmer that I could be. But the other day I was working on this problem. This was a Leetcode problem of the day. Number of ways to split an array. You were given a 0-indexed integer array nums of length n. Nums contains a valid split at index I if the following are true. The sum of the first I plus 1 elements are greater than or equal to the sum of the last I minus n minus I minus 1 elements. There's at least one element to the right of I that is 0 less than or equal to I less than n minus 1. Return the number of valid splits in nums. Okay, so the wording is very confusing, so I'm just kind of going to go over it. So you start at the first index, which is 10, and you add that to, first. That's what I named the variable, first, which was 0. And then for the second, you add all these together, and that should be less than the first number. So as you can see here, we have 10, and then you add all these together, which gives you 3, and 10 is greater than or equal to 3, so it's a valid split. And then you'll just kind of like increase on both sides. So on the next one, you'll do 10 plus 4, or first plus 4, first equals 10, and then that's 14, as you can see here. And then you'll add the last two together, which will give you -1, and 14 is greater than or equal to -1, so that's also a valid split. Now this next one, where it's not a valid split, you'll see is when you add all these together, you'll end up getting 6, and then the second part is 7. And 7 by itself is greater than 6, which means that this is not a valid split. So the answer for this one is 2. So I'm going to go into my submissions. I'm just going to go to the first code that I submitted that I thought was great. So as you can see here, I have ways to split array, and I'm just name the length n, and first and second, which are equal to 0. And then I make this for loop, which is for first. Sorry, if I equals 0, then first equals the nums 0, which is 10. And then I go into this, which is for if I is over 0. So once we get to I being 1, that means that we're going to start adding more to first. And then for second, I have this being the next available index. And then while it's less than the total length, then k++, and I'm just adding the rest of that. And at the end of that, I'm just making it 0 again, so that it keeps going. And it does pass all the way up until 93 out of 101 test cases, as you can see. So then I made a change. I thought, how can I get rid of some for loops? And I thought, wait, in the last one, I had this here, but I don't need this because first is 0. I could just do first plus equals nums I, which will keep going. So yeah, that's what I did. First plus equals nums I, and then we go into the k for all the second, and I'm still making second equals 0. But that still failed. But I mean, it passed the 93rd test case, but it failed the 94th. So then I made another change. Now I go into this, and this time I start by making second the total of the entire array by itself. And then with that, I go into another for loop, which gets, first plus equals nums I. And then if first is greater than or equal to second minus first, then, ways to split array plus plus, or ways to split plus plus. So for example, let's just say this is 10, and this is the total length of the array, which is 3 plus 10, so that's 13. So this is while first is greater than 13 minus 10, which it will be 3, then ways to split plus plus. Now for this one, I got the wrong answer, and I got the wrong answer because inside of here, my first and second, it was using int, right? So if you look here, this is this is 0. And it's every negative number all the way to 99,999. That is this test case. So that, like, adding will give you a wrong result because it goes over the max int, which number I can't remember. I never really remember it off the top of my head. But that is where I had to turn it into a long, and then it just passed. Same exact logic as the last one. But what I'm trying to say is I started with this crazy, nested for loop, all these if else statements, all these lines of code. And, it's telling me, hey, time limit exceeded. So it's making me think, how can I make this run faster? Which is something that I have struggled with. I'm not going to lie to you. So that is literally the reason why I'm doing this, to make me better. And it's actually starting to work finally. I actually had to look up, some reasons as to why that was failing to actually get the long part. But the main thing that I'm trying to tell you is that there's no more nested for loops. I'm not initializing first and second to 0 at the end of the loop anymore. It's just staying as is, and it's just subtracting every time, and it's way more efficient, and look at the stats for it. It's way more efficient than what I don't think it showed me because I didn't pass the other ones yet, but way more efficient than it would have been. The whole point of this video is to just say, work on your craft, because even though it is frustrating at first, I remember when I first started doing the whole Leetcode thing, and I was looking at them and I was like, this is crazy. Why do I have to make efficient code? As long as it works, it matters, But now I'm at a point where I am making more efficient code. Like even at work, when I'm working, I'll look at something that I coded. I'm like, this could definitely be shorter. And then I just make it shorter, and I was not doing that when I first started. And I'm really happy about that. And I'm just going to continue to do Leetcode, and I'm going to continue to make these videos, and I'm just going to continue to go over this journey of being the best programmer that I can be. The whole winter arc thing is all nested. I'm trying to be in the gym and reading and being disciplined so that it all transfers into me coding more and actually having a nice fresh mind whenever I sit in front of the computer, so I can code as efficiently as possible and essentially have a very successful career. But that's pretty much all I had to say for this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, and I deleted X, I forgot. But follow me on Instagram. My name is jordancs.js. Join my Discord, the link is in the description, and I'm going to see all of you in my next video. Thank you for watching. I'm insecure.